Alrighty. Hey, everybody. John Howell here. I hope we are all doing well this morning. And I really do mean that, guys. Like, I hope we're doing really well this morning. And I really do hope that, you are striving for greatness in your life, in every area of life. And every day you're continually working hard in every area of your life and never settling for more than you know you can share, give, or be or achieve in life. And I want to talk more about that later on in today's session. But I want to start off today's session with the preface of that never lower your standards because of people around you or what's happening around you. And make sure that you are subconsciously knowing what's going on in your life right now that's stopping you from moving forward. And I'm going to tell you a story about what's happened to me in the past that stopped me from achieving some goals that I've wanted in the past because of certain things. So I want to first I'm going to walk through the markets, but then I want to talk to you about a real life story of my own, and maybe you can resonate with this about dealing with fear, moving forward in life, and how to and some things that may be stopping you from actually achieving the goals that you want in life. That you may not realize, right? Because in life or in trading, there's these fears, right? There's these things that's happening in our lives that is subconsciously stopping us from achieving success. And that could mean anything in your life. That could mean anything in your life. That could mean amazing relationships. That could mean amazing health. That could mean financial abundance. In any area of your life, there's these things, right? That's stopping you from moving forward, but you may not realize what they are. I'm going to share a story with you after I get to the markets. That's going to walk you through one of my stories that actually stopped me from achieving success in the markets earlier on in my career. That I now can look back and say I can now see that. It still sucks what I had to do to move my life forward, but it was just one of those things that I had to do. In any event, guys, let me get straight into today. Let me get straight into the typical disclaimer. Guys, do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this session today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There's no guarantees of making money in the market. This session here is general advice only. And there's really 4 key skills you really need to learn to become what I call a master trader, or a really, really good trader, right? You got your foundations. How do you look at the market? The chart reading, right? How are you really, really good at reading charts, trading systems, and also the mindset? And so, Drew, you and your retracing of that messages, man. I saw your message, Drew, and you deleted it again. What do you do that for? You're ADD on posting and deleting, posting and deleting, posting and deleting. So anyway, guys, if you need help with everything I've just said there, from the framework to the chart reading stuff to the mindset to getting access to some really good trading systems, then grab your free trial to the Master Trader Lab at mastertraderlab.com. Test it out for free, and if you're happy, let me know. Or if you're not happy, let me know, and you'll never be billed. So let's get straight into the markets now, and I want to move forward more about the stories in my life that sometimes stopped me from moving forward, and dealing with fear in life. So that's what I want to walk you through with today. But firstly, let's actually get straight into the markets. The first thing that I'm noticing about the markets is that the S&P is still continuing to slowly rise up. S&P is still continuing to slowly rise up, and we're still continuing to break up through here. And this is where people that are trying to short the market right now, trying to pick the tops, are getting pretty nervous right now. I can tell you that right now. They're getting pretty nervous in the markets. And so we're seeing the little drop through here. And now we're getting a rise through here. The Dow Jones is now starting to slowly catch up to the S&P. So really, really, really interesting stuff to see what's going on with the markets right now, guys. And that's where, like, again, the market can keep going up longer than you think it can, despite on all the evidence of why it should go down. And that's why if you are short in the market right now, it is not a good thing to. It's not a good thing to do that, or to try to short the market right now. Because I know some people that were back here You know, they'll short the market, then the market dropped, then the market rallied, then they went short again, then the market rallied, they went short again, and the market just keeps going up. So trying to short the market right now is a very, very, very risky thing. And it does look like the Dow Jones is trying to catch up to what the Dow Jones is doing right now. So that's basically what the markets what the markets are doing right now. So moving on through to gold. Gold is actually developing a pretty weak pattern through here on the daily chart, guys. It really is. It's developing a pretty weak pattern. Look at this here. And if you can't sort of see what's going on here, let me bring up the good old Snagger tool again. All right. And then what you want to do is you want to go through here. And you want to look at this through here. We're developing some sort of bear flag right now. And actually, no, not some sort of. It is developing a bear. We're developing a bear flag right now through here. Now, just because it's a bear flag right now doesn't mean that's bearish. Excuse me. Just because it's a bear flag right now doesn't mean it's bearish. Right? We had a strong move down and a weak move up. Now, the reason why I say that is because there's many times when the market breaks up like this, if the market does break up and out like that, out of the flag formation, this bear flag formation, then we're probably going to race up to these highs here and then probably continue up. So it depends on where the breakout is, right? So whether it's bullish or bearish flags, guys, you must wait for confirmation. Now, if we do get a nice breakdown below here, like that there, then we're probably at least going to run down towards these levels through here. Now, where is that level? On gold. I'm just telling you what the charts are telling me, guys. Whether you think it's not going to happen or all that sort of stuff, I don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. Flow with the market. So this bear flag, at least if we do get a big drop back down from here, we got a lower low. It's going to be a lower high, breaking past previous lows, sellers in control. So it's probably going to run back down towards at least these low levels through here, probably around the 1240. Same for silver as well too. Silver is again weakest one out of a whole lot, just running up, hitting resistances now pretty much not doing anything. Now pretty much not doing anything in the markets there. So guys, the thing is that the most important thing you want to do is when trading these markets is flow with the markets. So we never know what's going to happen, okay? And we never want to. I'm telling you right now, guys, please listen to me. The more you can look at the market with a non-biased view, right? Non-biased view. And say, okay, market, what are you telling me? Instead of me saying, okay, well, the market's got to do this because of this. Market says, I don't give a damn about you. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Right? And so that the market's got to do this. And so what the thing is that you want to be always trading the market with a non-biased view, because the market's always giving us clues of what's really going on in the markets. And if you're trying to short the market as it's in a very strong upward move, you're gambling, you're risky, right? Because you're going against what the market is telling you. The market's always right. So you need to flow with the market. If you're trying to buy the market when the market's going down, then excuse me, then you're trading with your ego again, and you're going to get burnt 9 times out of 10, and your trading career is going to be very, very, very short-lived. The most important thing to your trading career, guys, long-term, is all about what are you doing that's setting up that foundation for the rest of your life. Because if you're trying to be a one-shot pony, trying to make a lot of money on one trade, I guarantee you right now that one trade is probably going to blow your account up. Doesn't matter how much you know what's going to happen or what you think is going to happen or any of that sort of stuff. That's the one trade that's going to continue, and that will blow your account up if that's what's going on with that there. And, and the more you are so certain something's going to happen, the more that it just won't happen. And the more that it will just continue to do that. So, so flow with the market. What I mean by flow with the market, guys, is just all we can do, right, is just look at the peaks and troughs, look at the highs and lows, and then get the market to tell us, okay, market, tell us, what story are you telling us right now? What's the story that the market's telling us right now? And then going with that, okay? So there's a quick little market update for you guys. Now, I want to get into something a bit different in this session here. Again, there's a bit of a market update there. And I want to get into something a bit different here, guys. And I want to talk about fear and moving forward with your life and some things that you may not understand that's stopping you from achieving the success and the goals and all that sort of stuff, that you want there. And so let me just bring this up here. All right. So what I oh, excuse me. What I want to talk about, guys, is again, your fear and moving forward with your life. I want to give you a true story, and maybe something can resonate through with you guys with this story here in my life. I was dating this girl, and I never realized some things in that relationship, and I now looking back now, I'm out of that relationship, and I have done for a while. I can look back at everything that's happened, and I can start to put the pieces together like I have been. And so one thing I realized by looking at my trading statement is that I realized that there were certain times when my trading would do really, really, really well, and I'd be trading good for 3 or 4 or 5 months, doing really well, and then a month or two, I'd give away 25 to 30% of my profits in just like a month, sometimes just 1 month. I'm like, what the hell happened there? And I'm just like, oh man. And I remember one time I traded so well. It was just incredible, right? Incredible, incredible, incredible. I made a lot of money in 1 year trading the markets. And I'm not going to tell you the exact figure, but it was close to 7 figures for that 1 year. So basically from the start of the year through to it was about, what's that, October, November, December. So around about October, maybe August, September, October. No, around about September. September, I looked at this. I'm like, wow, I'm actually doing really well. I've had a really good year. So what ended up happening is that by the time I finished that year off, I only ended up with about 200 grand in profit. Now, I'm not complaining about that, but what made me go from almost a 7-figure year to then go to only a couple of $100,000 of profits? That means within a couple of months, I gave away 3/4 of my profit. And I noticed this. I do. And I looked at my trading over a good couple of year period. And I'm like, how come I traded really, really well? And then I went through a period of downward period. And this has actually happened in the last few years, guys, last few years. Now, I'm not complaining. I've still done well out of trading, and I can still continue to do well out of trading. But people say, oh, well, you made like 200 grand. It's like, oh, you're not happy with that, eh, John? It's like, no, but I know my potential. I know what's potential in the markets. So anyway, forget the numbers here, okay? It's not about the numbers here at all. The thing is that I noticed this up and flow, up and flow, up and flow. Like I do really well, and then I'd give some back and do really well. And I'm like, is that me? Is that my ego, or what's really going on here? And now for the last year or so, couple of years now, my flow has been quite amazing. I've had a lot more flow in my life, my trading than ever before. But the thing is, before that, and there was one time there. That story that I told you about how I lost like 3/4 of my profit in like a couple of months. And then I was left with what I told you before. I sat there thinking, what made me do that? What made me do that? And this is subconscious, guys, that we don't realize, right? But here I was, okay? I'm a recovering codependent person. right? So I need that love and attention from people, which is really, really weird because prior to my last relationship that I had, I was never like that. I didn't really give a damn what people thought about me. I was happy to leave women. I was happy just to break up women and walk away and never look back. But for this one person, I don't know why, but I wanted her love so much. I just wanted her love so much. So my number one need was love and connection. So this is what ended up happening. I do really, and I started to connect the dots. I do really, really, really well at trading. And then after 3 or 4 months, I wouldn't mention anything to my partner. Now my partner just works a normal job and she works in the health industry and she doesn't really like her job. She's not really passionate about it. She's just doing it because it gives her a good paycheck. And here I am making things happen, enjoying life and really moving forward in a big way. But she's just stagnant, which is, as you can see, there's an unbalance there, right? Like if one person is really making things happen and they're stepping up and they're taking action and achieving success, and the other person is just going to work and fucking hate their job, you can see the unbalance there already. But I wanted love so much from this person. I wanted love. That was my number one thing. And so what ended up happening was I started to connect the dots after so many years of going through this, that I realized that when I was doing well, I think about the financial success, right? But then, so I was talking about, I wasn't saying about that to my partner about that. But then what ended up happening was after 3 or 4 months, or maybe 5 months of doing well, I would hit a milestone in my trading account. I'm like, man, I'm really excited. So I'd go tell my partner, I've just hit my trading goal and this is how much I made and blah, 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 and we should go out and celebrate. So we went out and celebrate and all that sort of stuff. But something happened. Something happened. Within a few days of that happening, she started to pull away from me. She started to be bitchy to me. She started creating arguments with me. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, seriously. Now, bear in mind, guys, as I said before, my number one need was to get love from this person. So I thought, what the fuck's going on here? She's pulling away from me. Why is she so cranky with me right now? Why is she so upset about why this suddenly out of the blue, she started to create all these arguments with me? And I'm like, I don't understand. And then suddenly, at that point, guess what? That's the point when I started sabotaging my success. I started giving away, doing these shit trades, loading up too much money per trade, having unbelievable risk, getting into things I shouldn't be getting into, and giving away some of the profit that I made. One time, as I said before, it's 3/4 of my wealth, and it's like, fuck. And then after that, once I realized that, I'm like, it never went that bad, right? I always went up. I just say I made whatever, and then I'd give 20% of that back, and then I'd kick myself out of it, and I grow again, and I give 20% of that back, or 25%, or 30% of that back. So I never went that bad again, but I never understood what was going on here, and because my need for love from this person was so strong, and I just wanted to be loved by this person. And I wanted to make them happy, that when I wasn't talking about my financial success or talking about my success in general, she was happy with me because I wasn't mentioning to her. I wasn't making her feel insignificant or insecure. And so because of that, she wasn't saying anything. She wasn't being bitchy to me and so on and so forth. But then suddenly when I told her about this, she became bitchy. So I started to subconsciously, and I didn't realize this until after a while of going this, I didn't realize, but subconsciously I equaled me having success in my life equals no love. And because I wanted love the most from this particular person, that was the number one thing I wanted. That was my value that I wanted the person. I want to be loved by my partner and cherished and adored and all that sort of stuff by my partner. I would unconsciously sabotage my success. And then suddenly I start to do things and I give it away. And then suddenly I'd snap out of it and I'd get back to it and I'd get back on track again and so on and so forth. And so I went through these motions and I went through these gyrations, and I didn't understand that I do really well. And then suddenly I started to linking success in my life equaled no love. And love was the number one thing that I wanted in my life. So if me getting this love equals if me my number one thing is getting love, right? So I always, then I subconsciously said to myself, if I'm successful, I'm not going to be loved. And because love is the number one thing that I want in my life, that's what I want. So then I would subconsciously be on this yo-yo, this merry-go-round again and again and again and in my life. And it wasn't until I pulled myself out of that relationship for many months now, I've done it now for many months, I can now look back and say I understand why I was doing what I was doing. But we don't understand why we're in that, right? And this is why, so it's a very powerful thing to look back on your life and look what's happening in your life. It's like, okay, why am I doing what I'm doing? What is the underlying belief or value that's stopping you from moving forward? Right? Because the thing is that sometimes, just like my story, sometimes there's this thing that you don't realize that's actually stopping you from moving forward. But it's your, but I wanted to be successful as well too. But when I was successful, my partner didn't give me love. So I would not be successful. And when I wasn't successful, and when I have a few bad months, my partner will say, oh, it's okay. And she started to give me love again. And so, so what I had to unconsciously do, and I'm telling you what, guys, now, sometimes we have to let people go in our life that are not going to be supportive, even though we love them so much. We love them dearly. And it's going to hurt for a little while. Sometimes we have to walk away from people and walk away from things in our life that are not serving us at all. Because for me, I wanted love so much from this partner, but then I realized her and I were completely different levels there. She'd hate her job, and because she hated her job so much, she was so unhappy about her job. If I had a really good day and she called me up and says, hey, babe, how was your day? And I say, my day was fantastic. She will say, oh, good for you. Here I am stuck in an office and you're having a good day. And suddenly I started to feel bad now for having a good day. And because most of the time that she was depressed, and I was always trying to find stuff to be happy about, right? And that's still to this day. I'm always trying to find stuff. Now, I'm not always happy. And sometimes I go down in the darkest places you've ever been, right? Because I go there because I'm trying to figure out, some things in my life. Why do I do what I do, and so on and so forth. And so I go there, but I don't stay there, right? I might go there for half an hour or so, but then I use my body, use my mind, I use my physiology, I use my voice, and I just snap myself out of it so I can continue moving forward. But I was always stuck in that relationship because I was fearful of not being enough. I was fearful of not truly being loved. And that fear always stuck me in this state of not moving forward in my life. And now what I can see from looking back through all that it was just an illusion anyway. Because now I've been out of that relationship for quite some time, and it still hurts a little bit, but it's getting a lot better now. It was a 4.5-year relationship. Now I can look back over that period and say, and it's really interesting, right, guys? It's like, and especially when we have friends and stuff like that in our lives, when we have friends and family in our lives that are trying to unconsciously keep us where we are by doing things like my ex-girlfriend did. It's so important, guys, that if we are moving forward in our lives, that we have to start to look at ourselves as high value. Now, that's hard to do. I know that's and a lot of us, right? That's hard to do, but we have to keep that positive thought loop going. Like, I'm amazing. I'm amazing. I love myself. I love myself. I'm incredible. I'm so fucking sexy. Like all these things. I do this every day. And the thing is that the only reason why we stay with certain people, call it relationships, call it whatever, the only reason why we do that is because for some reason deep down inside, we believe we believe we don't deserve the things we really want. And sometimes the things we really want in life, sometimes the things we really want in life scares the shit out of us. I forget who it says, right? But it's the light. It's the light, not the darkness, that scares us the most. And so, guys, I now look back at that and I'm just like, why did I stay with someone so much for so long? Because of something in my life. Now, I'm opening up to you personally here, but I'm talking to you about this because, you know, dealing with fear and moving forward in your life, that's the reason why, guys, it's like so many people want to be successful in life, in whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. Call it your health. Call it you want to be amazing, successful in your health. But the people that you hang around with drink alcohol all the time, stay up late, eat shit food all the time, so on and so forth. You know, we are who we hang around with. And that is the hard and sad thing really about success, is that you can't move forward in your life while you're hanging around a peer group. Excuse me. And I'll give you another story here. When I first started getting into this self-improvement trading industry and so on and so forth, when I started getting into this, and when I started getting into this self-improvement and so on and so forth, I started looking at life a lot differently. I started being a lot more grateful for my life. I started looking at life a lot more differently. And at that time, I was going to basically church 3 times a week. I had Bible studies, I had youth groups, and then I also had church, you know, go to actual church itself. And, you know, and then the youth group that I used to go to with the church, I would, I knew these, you know, these guys, these friends were like for 10 years, friends. And they were friends in my life. And there's a big group of us. And we always hung around, you know, during the week we hung around. On the weekends, we used to go bowling and all that sort of stuff. But when I started like pulling myself out of the being plugged into just society and started looking at life differently, I started to realize what was actually happening around me and who I was. And the turning point was, we had this Bible study group. No, it was maybe a youth group. And then we had this, you know, we all come together in groups and so on and so forth. And we do the prayer group and so on and so forth. And so what ended up happening was, when we're praying, my prayer was not to ask God for help. My prayer was just to say thank you. Just to be grateful, saying thank you so much for the water. Thank you so much for my house. Thank you so much for my car. I'm just so grateful to be part of this group right now, and so on and so forth. And the funniest thing happened. Everyone in the group was saying, you know, I pray for health, yet they're eating a donut for fucking breakfast. I pray that I get a job, yet they're sitting down, sit on their fat ass playing PlayStation all day. And I sat there looking at this thing and what's going on here? And what ended up happening was, when I did this prayer, something weird happened. The group sort of started making fun of me. Like, everyone was asking for help, doing nothing about it in their life. But here I was, just being grateful. Just saying, you know what? Call it God, call it universe, whatever you want to call it. You know what? Just thank you. Just thank you for the things that I do have in my life right now. You know, because it could be so much worse if I really think about it. I could have no money in my life right now. I couldn't even afford a house right now. I couldn't even have a car right now. And I may not even know where I'm going to have my next meal from. Like, it could be so much worse right now. So yes, things are not exactly what I want, but you know, I need to start with that gratitude. And I remember coming back from a Tony Robbins event that actually started switching that for me. And it was actually just like, you know, with a grateful mind and a positive attitude, Like attracts like, so you start to attract more of that. So I wanted to start to develop this more of a grateful mentality. And when I did that, the group started making fun of me. They started laughing at me. And I'm like, hang on a minute, what? I never understood that. I never understood why that was. And then I started looking at all these people differently. And I thought, every single one of these people are the exact same. They're overweight. They always complain about their finances. And they're always complaining about how unhappy they are. They're never happy. And they're always complaining why they're sick and all this sort of stuff and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, there was no true happiness there. I'm just like, this is something. And that was a complete turning shift for me. And I realized that if I wanted to start moving forward in my life, I realized that I had to pull the plug in this group. And I walked away from that group of friendships of 10 years. And actually at that time, I didn't give a fuck. I really didn't. Because I'm just like, I'm sick of this shit. I want to make something on my life right now. And you guys are here, you know, doing all this sort of stuff, not even helping yourself. I'm so sick. Please, God, help me. Let's go have McDonald's for lunch. Fuck me. And so I had to pull the plug away from that group. But I'm so grateful I did, because that led me onto the journey of getting involved with the markets and getting involved in this journey itself. And I still go back to that same place every now and then I may run into these people, and guess what? They're more overweight than they ever have been. And they're just so unhappy in their life. It's like, I don't want that. I want more for my life. I don't want to be unhappy. I want to be happy. I want to experience the finer things in life. Right? I want to have the finer things in life. And so but I realized that I can't move forward in my life while having this around me. You know, and that there was actually quite easy. I'm just like, yeah, screw this, you know, because I was so frustrated at them actually laughing at me for just being grateful for things in my life. It's like, no, I'm done with this shit. You know, and then like even, you know, and even people that, even some people, even some family in my life, it's like, and it's hard, right? Because I love my family. I love some of my friends, and, you know, and even my ex-girlfriend, I love her to this day dearly. I really do. But I realized that if I want to experience and have the things in my life right now, I need to let go of those things that are not serving me. And in the moment, it's fucking painful. I'm not going to lie. It really is. It hurts like a bitch. Especially like with my ex-girlfriend, right? Like I had to walk away from her and say, like, this is not working for me. We're not meant, this is, you know, you came into my life for a reason, and I thank you for that. And I now know the reasons why she came into my life. But I also do know that, you know what? I need to create the space for the things that I truly want in my life to come into my life. And if I'm still stuck here, stuck with someone who just doesn't want to move forward in life, who just doesn't want to make their life amazing, who doesn't want to take any responsibility for their own actions, who is always going to be unconsciously feel so uncomfortable that when their partner is doing well, they're going to chuck a little tantrum. As much as it fucking hurts me, and it still does to this day, guys, because I don't know why. Something about this girl. Throughout through my divorce, you know, I was married for 8 years, and I wasn't so connected to my wife than I was with my ex-girlfriend. And I'm trying to give you a real life story of that. I've had to let that go. And still to this day, every time I think about that, I miss her. Every time I think about that, it'd be good to talk to her again and good to see her again, and so on and so forth. I have to snap myself back into reality and say, no, you are creating the space for something even better in your life. And that may take 6 months, that may take 12 months, that may take 2 years for those something better to come into your life. Now, what I truly believe is that if you want something better to come into your life, you better be writing down exactly what you want, right? Because if you drive through McDonald's drive-through, or you drive through KFC drive-through, or you go through any drive-through, and you say to the person in the speaker, you know what? I just want some food. They're like, so what do you want, sir? I just want some food. I'm hungry. Okay, so what would you like? Right? Do you see what I'm saying there? Think about when you write down your goals, specifically what you want in life. Think about that to the order of the universe. And if you guys have read The Science of Getting Rich and Think and Grow Rich, this is where it all starts, right? There's magic in the air when you write something down and you attract that, you know. And you know, I could, if you guys haven't got my Flow of Success book, I talk a lot about that. But you know, I remember after getting divorced and I was single for maybe a year or so, you know, dating women every now and then. But then I said, you know what? I want to start to meet the next great love of my life. And so I wrote down a paragraph of everything that I wanted to have in this woman, everything that I wanted to have in this woman. You know, about what she likes. She likes to go to the beach. She likes to travel. She's fun. She's outgoing. She's energetic, and all this sort of stuff. Right. So I started writing a big paragraph. It was just a nice paragraph, maybe 4 or 5 lines long, of who this person is. Right. It had nothing to do with the looks, but everything to do with the characteristics, because I didn't care about the looks. Because I knew that if she had the characteristics, I'd fall in love with her. And so what ended up happening was, when I did that, I started reading it every day and just visualizing someone come into my life. And I only did that for about 5 minutes every day. And funny enough, really weird, I went to my nan's funeral. And when I was at my nan's funeral, this is when I started to talk to this girl, which then became my girlfriend. And she completely turned my life around. Completely turned my life around. In a good way, though, right? In a good way, because I felt more connection to someone than I'd ever felt before. Like, I was married to my wife for 8 years and I never felt that connection. It was just something just like, wow, it knocked my socks off. Completely knocked my socks off. You know, and you know, and still to this day, I'm just like, wow, that was truly, truly amazing, truly incredible. And no other girlfriend that I've had in the past could even align with that. But even though I had all that, there were still these things underneath the surface that, if I'm a person that's going to try to achieve success every single day and make things happen, but then I'm with a person that doesn't, it's going to create a lot of conflict there. So, guys, I'm telling you right now is that if you want something, right? If you want something to come into your life, then you've got to know, like, actually, what is it you want? And there's the differences between being stupid with your goals and being realistic with your, and sort of being there with your goals, right? So say, for example, if you're making no money out of trading, but you say, you know what, I want to start making $1 million a year, then that's probably going to take 3 or 4 years, right? Let's bring that back. Let's bring that right back. You know what? I want to start making, on average, let's say, all right, I want to start making on average of $50,000 per year, all right? Per year. Because I believe we should set goals per year with our trading and not per month. Because per month, we start to put too much pressure on ourselves. We start to force it. We start to rush it. And we start to make a lot of mistakes. Because some months, as you know, if you've been trading for a while, some months, if you're trading on setup, that is, that some months there's a lot of trades and there's a lot of really good trades. And then other months, there's not many good trades. But if you look at the whole year, then you'll be able to see that. So if you say, okay, this year I want to make $50,000 for my trading, right? So you need to write that down, right? That I'm so grateful now that I earn $50,000 per year from my trading. And it's so simple and easy to find amazing, powerful trading setups that run on for amazing profits every day. And just read that. Just read that. And when you read it, now, for starters, when you read that and think about it, for starters, first day, first week, first month, you're not going to feel any different. 90 days, this is where everything completely changes for you. Everything completely changes for you. So if you're leaving what you don't want, what exactly do you want? And start to get specific about that. And I promise you, more of that will start to show off, right? Because we know the whole theory, or I've heard it before, we get what we focus on in life. We've heard the whole analogy, like, if you didn't see, you went to a car dealership and you saw this really nice car you'd never seen before, and you really, really liked it, and you thought about it all the time. Now you start to see that car everywhere. Just like my ex-girlfriend, right? She got this car, and this was a Suzuki car, and I've never seen that car on the road anywhere ever. Since she got it, 2 weeks later, I was starting to see that car everywhere. So what exactly you got to write down specifically what you're after. If it's a new relationship, if it's your trading, maybe it's your health. And then within those areas that you're writing down specifically, like, what can you start doing every day that can start to make a massive difference over the next 6 months for your life in those areas? That doesn't take a lot of time, but the compounding effect. Because I'd rather you do something that's going to take half an hour a day than you try to be balls to the wall and be 4 hours per day. Because 4 hours per day, you're probably going to burn out, you're probably going to get sick of it, and you're probably just going to give up. But if you say, you know what, if I can do half an hour, I can do an hour at night every day on this one thing. If you try to become much better at reading the charts, get your ass in the Master Trader Lab, start learning the chart reading stuff, and then start spending an hour or even half an hour every night. So you know what? My job right now is just to go over chart after chart and start to start to look at the charts itself and start to get better at reading these charts using the techniques I teach in the lab. Code word for membership. So get the lab. There's the. So guys, I wanted to do this session for you because I know this is a completely different session than anything else out there, guys. But this is a lot of things that it's going to stop you or make you or break you and all these different things, right, in life that we just don't think about in life. And I promise you guys, if we can deal with that uncertainty, we can deal with the fear of the unknown, and we can start to deal with what we're going through head on. Like mine, I'm a recovering codependency. I'm very, very codependent, which simply means I get stuck in relationships. Well, I used to get stuck in relationships that were just pretty toxic a lot of the time. But I made it okay for that to happen in my life. I'll fix you. It's okay. I'll help you. And we just go through this fucking gyrations in our life before we realize that. Now, with me, what I've been doing lately is I've been really, 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 really having a good deep look at myself, saying, why do I think the way I think? Why do I do things the way I do? Because without me going down there and going right down there, and a lot of us guys, we don't want to do that. We don't want to go down there because when we go down there, we're going to find some really, really, really ugly shit about our actions, about what we've done, about how we see things in life. And it's going to be pretty ugly in that moment. And you might feel cranky about yourself, might be pissed off at yourself for allowing you to do these things. You might feel really, 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 really sad at times. You might feel like you want to cry. All these things that come up and out of us is so important. Because once we do that, right, we're slowly peeling back that onion so we can move forward in our lives. So the thing that I really wanted to touch on today, guys, was that. And these stories that I've told you today, hopefully it resonates with you somewhat. And hopefully you can start to look at your life somewhat and say, no, where do I need to work on? Do you even have some sort of a goal written down? Like, I would rather you say, I make $20,000 per year from trading. And even though you think you can achieve that, I'd rather you do that than nothing else. Because I promise you, please, guys, if you really want a breakthrough in life, guys, get my Flow of Success book. It's like $3 or something. I don't know. And start to read that, because let me see if I can bring this up here, guys, because it's just there's so much magic in there that even I go back and say, wow, I wrote that. That's pretty incredible. It's a pretty amazing book about this sort of stuff that I'm talking about here in life. But if you're going through a challenging time right now, if you're going through a time right now where you're trying to move forward, but you seem stuck, if you're trying to break through, but you seem stuck, if you're trying to make things happen in your life, but you seem stuck, get my Flow of Success book, spend the $3 or whatever it is on Amazon. The links are in the description. Right here. So if I bring this up through here, you'll be able to. And if I actually, I'll just bring this up on let's do this here. Right, so this is the Flow of Success book I'm just talking about here. Right, this is the book that I wrote. And the one thing that is this one here: tap into the 19 powerful universal laws to succeed in every area faster and easier than ever you wanted. Right, and then I go through all of this here. Right, and every single one of these things, guys, can truly help you move forward in your life in a big, 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 big way. And even I go back into this here, right? About like every single thing here can start to help you achieve your goals much, 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 much easier and much faster than ever before. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. No, and things take time. One thing I realized, guys, is one thing that stops us from moving forward, right, is that we never spend the time doing the small things. Like 5 minutes per day, reading out a statement of declaration of this is what I'm achieving right now. I'm so grateful that I'm achieving this, and just spending just a few minutes thinking about it and seeing it in your mind and letting it go. You don't realize the power of just doing that for 90 days straight. But yet we want to just keep rushing and keep rushing and keep rushing and keep rushing and keep rushing. And we wonder why things are not happening for us. Right. And then there's so many things here that can really, 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 help you. And the one that's really dear into my heart right now is this one right here, which is embracing the setbacks. With struggles, there is no progress. So embrace the struggle. And remember that a setback is a setback for a comeback. Eric Thompson. There's so much goodness in this book, guys, here that, like even I go back to this here, okay? And so like, embracing the setbacks here. And then there's like, and also there's, all right, to move forward faster. Like this one here, right? Like, look at this one here. Now, this hasn't been formatted, but pain and pleasure actions, right? Pain and pleasure actions. So there's just so much here, right? Rushing versus allowing, outcome and results focused. I promise you guys, you'll be able to start to get so much out of this here. So please, guys, just get the book, guys. And this is not a plug for the book, but it's one of the things, guys, that I keep coming back to. I keep coming back to again and again and again for this, to see what's going on here. Like for example, for example, guys, like if I'm trying to be something like I can see through, I'm like, oh look, what's my outcome and results focused, right? And then looking at that, and so yeah. So let me go through the chat box now, guys. If you guys want to share something with me or whatever, to put in the chat box there. But I wanted this to be a bit more deeper, a bit more emotional, guys, a bit more meaningful in your life. And hopefully today has been one of those sessions that can help you move forward. Listen, guys, moving forward and letting go of people and doing what we need to do in life, it's not easy, right? It really isn't. Having an amazing, rich, filled life is not easy, which means amazing, passionate, loving relationship, amazing health, abundance of income, freedom, travel. For me, guys, that's what life's about, and not settling in those areas. And so, you know what? I want a rich, full life, and I don't want to lower my standards for that. And I know me doing that means I'm going to be walking away from a lot of people in my life, but I can't let other people's expectations determine my reality. And I have to keep moving forward. Now I'm doing this with you guys because obviously I'm going through it myself, but I know so many of us are going through, similar situations in a lot of areas of our life. but don't settle. It's not going to be easy getting to where you want to go. And it's quite a challenge, right? Because not only do you have to deal with the fall, but then you have to deal with your own mindset. Say, you're not going to do this. You tried this last time. You're not going to do it. That's why I always say to yourself, guys, is that set something up that you can do for the next 90 days that'll totally transform your life. Like, for example, if you want to totally transform your health, every single day for the next 90 days, just wake up, take half a liter of water, squeeze a whole lemon in it, drink it, the very first thing you do it. Then close your eyes and say out loud 5 things you're grateful for. I'm grateful for this house. I'm grateful for the lemon water. I'm grateful for my microwave. I'm grateful for my TV. I'm grateful for my car. Cool. Start your day like that. And I guarantee you 90 days, I call it the 90-day challenge. It's amazing what happens in 90 days, guys, when we do those things. It's amazing. Gregory says, I hope, think, or fear that the market will dump once the trade deal is announced. You may be right, Gregory. You may be right. But for you, my man, instead of you focusing on that, I think your focus should be 100% focusing on how to identify a really good quality trading setup, because that's where your focus needs to be. And putting in the work. Yeah, buy the rumor, sell the fact. Yeah, Rav. Rav is just going to keep shorting the hell out of this market until he blows up his account. We may be racing up to new highs. I guarantee you, if this does break up to new highs, which that can happen, you won't see Rav in the chat box. He gone, man. Flow like water, exactly right, Cube. Seeing yourself clearly is tricky. That's the reason why, Justin, it takes therapy sometimes. It takes a hard look at yourself. It takes like what am I feeling? What am I thinking? You know, like I do that probably 3 or 4 times a week. I'll go for a walk around along the water, and I'll say to myself, what am I thinking? What am I feeling right now? What am I fearful of right now? What am I excited about right now? And I'll try to go deep to try to get to the core of what's stopping me, what's real, what do I think, what do I really? And sometimes I might do it for a whole week and nothing comes up. And the next week I'll say it, and boom, this thing will hit me like, oh shit, and then I'll start to cry or whatever. And I'm like, and I'm not ashamed of that, because it's me releasing, it's me going there. I've had a lot of things happen with my childhood, so I've had a lot of childhood trauma there. CT MMA says, love your videos, and yes, love makes the world go around, but sometimes in a bad way. Also, I'm not liking the market breadth lately. I think it needs a breath. Keep up the good work. Well, you may be right, but the thing is, remember, guys, the market can keep going up longer than you think it can. Right? Just look at any bubble out there. Look at Bitcoin, right? It's like, if you go back and have a look at the start of last year, right? Like, I guarantee the exact same people were saying that at the start of, at the end of last year, right? Look at this here. Look how high this thing was going. Just kept going up and up and up and up. So as you can see, right, with very little pullbacks, the market can just keep going up and up and up and up and up. We might have a little resting periods. Look at this here. Up, sideways, up, sideways, up, sideways, up, sideways, up, sideways, up, sideways, and up. So the market can, I repeat myself, for you guys that are trying to fight the market right now, the market can keep going up longer than you think it can. And the more you think it can't, yeah. Awesome, bro. Fantastic, bro. Now I understand, John. She was way more into herself than she was into you. You're a better person now, even though it was 4.5 years. Yeah, thanks, Dusty. Thanks for that, man. It's really interesting, Dusty, what you just said there, because without me even saying that, you're exactly right. There's so many red flags that if I'm being honest with myself, there's so many red flags there. Not to say that I was perfect. No, there was times that I was insecure. I was needy. I was clingy. Sometimes I wouldn't listen to her and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, but what you said there, Dusty, without me even saying that, she was way more into herself than she was into you, even though it was 4.5 years. But the thing is, Dusty, is the thing is this, is that I was so oblivious and I was so blinded by my infatuation for this connection here that I completely ignored the red flags. What were the red flags? The red flags was I started dating this girl when she was living with her boyfriend. Now I knew she was with her boyfriend, so I didn't make any moves. We just started going to lunch dates. But I still realized that was completely not right. Right. And she even kissed me on the second date or something like that, while she was still living with the boyfriend, by the way. And then once she absolutely 100% knew that I was going to be with her, she left the boyfriend moved out, and then she moved me in. Like, that's happened in the first couple of months of our relationship. Talking about a massive red flag. Oh, I'm going to be different. I'm going to be different. Guess what, guys? Through the 4.5 years, a lot of that stuff happened. You know, if she's going to do it with me, she's going to do it to me. And I'm saying this, guys, because so many of us get into relationships, right? So many of us start things and we realize we're going to be different. And then suddenly 6 months later, that happens to us. Like, shit, I thought I was different, and so on and so forth. So yeah, so anyways, that's absolutely right, John. Fantastic. Perspective is everything, John. I hope you never throw away that perspective and God's love for you. Thank God you left the group, Clint. Yeah. Jay said, I thought you got divorced. I did. My ex-girlfriend wasn't my wife, by the way. I got divorced a long time ago now. Geez, how many years ago was that? Probably about 10 years ago now I got divorced. I was with my wife for about 8 years. We did it. The bears are all dead. John, how did you come out of so many good points in your book? Oh, the Flow of Success book. It was actually really interesting. You mentioned that. Yes. Yeah. So I started looking at my life in a whole, in everything in my life. I just started looking at everything. And I started thinking about, like, you know, there's these things in life, right, that help us get ahead in life. And then it was through experiences. It was through me growing up and leaving the church, and starting my own journey there. It was friends and family. It was, you know, getting married. It was going through health and having a health scare and so on and so forth. And, you know, becoming a good trader as well too, and attracting things into my life and all these different things. And then I started to realize that there's these things in life that really help us in our life. And that's how it spent me some time to write it, but I really started to think about these things in life, you know, like outcome results focused. Instead of just, so many people, that simply means, like, are your actions actually going, is your action today actually moving you one step closer to an outcome? If you don't have that outcome, that's where you need to start, and so on and so forth. So that's where it started, yeah. The conclusion in both must have synchrony in some aspects. Yeah. So anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Once again, guys, I want to leave you with this note here, is that if you are trying to achieve success in your life, be prepared for a lot of outside struggle. Be prepared for a lot of people trying to pull you down. Know that, but it's hard enough to get our own self-talk to get onto the positive side, let alone have all this other shit on the outside. And it's going to be painful. And sometimes, yes, you achieving the ultimate success in your life that you want, sometimes meaning you let people go, because if you can't let those people go, they're going to unconsciously have an effect on your life. And you don't realize it until you move out. So you move away and thinking, damn, okay? And the last note about the actual market itself, guys, if you think the market cannot keep going higher, just look at Bitcoin. Look at all of 2017. Up, sideways, and it just kept going up and up and up and up and up. Exactly right, Caesar. Exactly right. So anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Have an amazing, amazing weekend, and I will see you guys next week.